So once you're on Google, type in NativeScript. Okay, so this is the platform we're going to be using. It's called NativeScript. You code with JavaScript, and the app gets made for both iOS and Android with the same code. So that's brilliant. You don't need to learn Swift just for iOS, and you don't need to learn Java just for Android. You can just have one code base, and it will work for both apps. And so let's get started. Click on that. Okay, and click on Start a Tutorial. So I recommend using Chrome, just because I prefer Chrome, and I think NativeScript also recommends Chrome for their editor. So there's nothing to install. It's all going to be done in the browser. That's one of the other reasons why I picked NativeScript for this 5-day course. It's because this is the simplest way to get an app made. And I think a lot of you here, you just want to make an app, you want to learn to code, and also you want to make some money. And the best way to do that is to start with something that's really easy and simple. There's no point going hard and trying to learn the most complicated framework out there. So we're just going to go ahead, and I say this is simple. I mean, this is simple for me, but for a lot of you, you're not going to understand anything that's going to go on in this lesson, but that's fine. All I need you to do is copy and paste in the right areas, just follow along, and by the end of today, you're going to have an app on your phone. Alright, so let's click on Get Started at the top. Interactive tutorials, and we're going to skip tutorial 1 because we can, and we're going to go on to tutorial 2, building a weather app, and then click on Start this tutorial. Alright, so hopefully you've got a phone next to you, and what you need to do is go to the app stores and search for NativeScript. So you should be able to see my phone, and I'll just do that, show you how to do that. So if you're on iPhone, then great, you're going to be seeing what I'm seeing. If you're on Android, it's fairly simple. Just search NativeScript. Alright, and now you want to download both of these, the playground and the preview. So this is the app that's going to be used, so that you can see all of the code changes that you make in real time. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so we've got Playground installed, just waiting for preview. Alright, while preview's downloading, let's open Playground. So I'll just wait 30 seconds for the rest of you to catch up. Alright, cool. So I've got both downloaded, and let's see what it says next. So the next thing to do is to open the NativeScript Playground app, and you click on scan QR code, which should open your camera. Allow the permission, so press OK on that. And then it says you go back to the editor on your computer, you click on the QR code here near the top, and that should present a QR code. You then get your phone like this and scan the code. Right? So after scanning the code, you'll see the app. Ooh. And that's great. So keep your phone on the side of your laptop or computer, whatever you're using. Whenever we make changes, we're gonna see it live on your phone. Let's see. So Cam's got a question. After I get started, where do I go? All right, let's just quickly help Cam. So Cam, this is especially for you. You go to NativeScript.org, which I'm sure you're on already. You're going to end up on the on their playground. So that's the URL, play.nativescript.org. Wait till it loads, and then you're going to click on. So most likely you're not seeing the tutorial bar on the right. So to get that open, you click on Get Started, Interactive Tutorials, and then click on to Tutorial 2. Don't forget, you can always rewind this video if you do get stuck later on. Like you can rewind it while I'm live, and that's fine. And then click on Start This Tutorial. Okay. So after you've clicked Start This Tutorial, just to recap, you need to download both of the NativeScript apps, Playground and Preview. All right, so I think most of us have downloaded the apps, and what we just did was with the NativeScript app, we clicked on Scan QR code. We then clicked on QR code here. We scanned it, and now on your phone you should see this, Play with NativeScript. All right. So let's just test this out. So in the editor where it says, let me try and explain this a little bit, but don't worry if you don't understand what I'm going to say right now. Because as I said, we're just going to be copying and pasting, but 1 second. Hey, who's this? Terrian's iPhone. Are you on the same URL as me? Okay. Anyways, so this is the template. So these are tags. If you can see these chevrons, so this is like a left chevron, arrow, whatever you want to call it. So this is the beginning tag, right? So you've got the word template, and surrounding the word template, you've got the left chevron, and you've got the right chevron. So all of that together is called the beginning of a tag. And then the ending, so this part, you've got the same word, it's called template. You've also got 2 chevrons on either side, but also you've got this / here. That / means this is the closing tag. Okay, so together they're called a tag. So we would just say, this is the template tag, and inside the template tag we have the page tag. And again, this is the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. Right? So inside the template tag, we've got the page tag. Yeah? And then inside the page tag, we've got 2 tags. The action bar, which, as you can see, you might be wondering, where's, this looks like a closing tag or it's opening tag. It's basically combined into one. So if you, this is the same thing. If I do this, that's the same thing, right? So you've got the opening tag, and then you've got the closing tag, or if you're not going to have anything inside a tag, then you can just have a /. So anyways, don't worry about this. You don't need to understand this. You're going to get the hang of it later on. Alright, but what you can identify is that, so on this app that we've got here, you've got play with NativeScript, okay, and then you've got this label tag here, this one, and you've got the text here. So let's change this text to hello world, and then if you're on Windows, do Control S, Mac Command S, or you can click save here. And then before I click save, I just want to show you that. Oh, wait. So I clicked save, and now your app should do some jumping, and then you'll see that this has now changed to hello world. So that's amazing, right? You're coding in a browser, you're making some changes, and it's happening on your phone. That's great. So this is very simple stuff. Let's go on, scroll right to the bottom on your on the right hand side of your screen and click on complete step. Right, lesson 2 within this. So ignore all of the theory, we don't want to know that. We want action. Alright, so what we're going to do is, so they've given us some template code that we're going to copy and paste. So either highlight it all, but to be safer, just click on this copy button. Alright. And replace. So this is, as you can see on the right, that's a template tag, right? And we want to replace it with our existing one. So just highlight everything here, delete it, and paste this new stuff. And then click save. And now your app should look broken. Let's show you mine. So you've just got details written at the top. That's fine, don't worry. As we move on through this tutorial, it's going to build out, and it's going to be a weather app. They had a picture somewhere here. Let me just find it so that you'll have something to be motivated about. Let's see, NativeScript weather tutorial. Dun, 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 images. Well, it's not going to look exactly like that, but basically you're going to have, we're going to use geolocation, so it's going to find your current, whichever town or city you're in. It's going to say whether it's cloudy, rainy, sunny, the temperature, and then some other stats like visibility, headwind, and other stuff. So that's exciting, I hope. Right, so what we just did was we copied the code they gave us using the copy button, and then we replaced it with our template. Alright, and okay, that's basically that done. And then let's complete the step and go next. So what I want to do is I want to just run through all of these. I think they've got 9 lessons within this tutorial. I want us to get through that really fast, and then I want to take questions, and then if we've got time I'll just explain some things about the code that we've written. Let me close this. Alright, so now we want to add geolocation capability within the app. So what this is saying is find the plus button in the Explorer. So on the left hand side of your screen you've got this heading called Explorer, and then just on the right to that you've got a plus button. You click on that. Don't forget, if I'm going too fast, too slow, just leave a comment and I'll update my speed. So we want to add an npm package, which stands for Node Package Manager. And this is great because there's millions of packages here. Like any feature or plugin that you need, it's here. So what we want is the NativeScript -geo location. So if you type all of that in, and then make sure you've installed this exact plugin. So none of the other geolocations, it has to be called NativeScript -geolocation. Okay, so just double check before you click on add. Does your package name say NativeScript -geolocation? It's very important. And then click add. That should take a few moments, and that's it. Alright, and now let's complete this step. Alright, now we're on lesson 3. Right, so far what we've done is we've used the template code they've added. The template is basically the UI part of it. So you've got a page here, you've got a grid layout which is going to display, you know, the weather stats. You've got a weather image here, you've got a summary, and then you've got the day at the time. This is the UI side of things in the template. So that's mostly done, and now what we're going to do is we're going to use an API, or it stands for Application Programming Interface, very complicated, but an API is basically a gateway to get some data. So most websites, most companies have an API. For example, so in this example, there is it's a weather forecast API, and they let you query the current temperature and other weather stats in your current location. So all you have to provide them is you give them your geolocation and they give you the weather for that location. Okay, and then another example is so Facebook has an API where other apps can use their API so that people can log into other apps using Facebook login. That's an API. And then let's think of another example. There's Reddit, and I think just a few years ago Reddit's mobile app was quite bad, so a lot of people just used Reddit's API to make their own app, and their app would basically use Reddit's API to pull in all of the threads, the subreddits, etc., and it would basically be a Reddit viewer. A lot of what you're going to be dealing with when creating apps or coding are APIs. So, you can Google more about APIs after this if you want to. So let's continue with lesson 3. So I've already explained what the template tag is. That's the UI, and then you've got a script tag underneath, and that's basically where you put all of the the more hardcore code. You can call it that. So what we want to do is copy, again, use this copy button here instead of highlighting, because you might make a mistake if you do it manually. So click the copy button, it should say copied, and then so this says right under the script tag. All right, and notice it says it shows you the opening tag, not the closing tag. So you don't want to put it here, no, you want to put it, oh, let me get rid of that, you want to put it right underneath. Okay, paste it. Oops, mine looks weird. So let me just start that again. So you click onto the right hand side of script, click enter. You'll see it's indented already, don't worry. And then paste it. And yeah, the formatting doesn't look good, but let's make it look good. So we want it to look like how it looks on the right. So just come here, press delete, click enter. It's very important to make sure your code looks good, just because when you come back to it, you want it to be easy to read. Otherwise, you're just going to get confused. And then let me give you a tip. Highlight all of this like this, and then click on Shift and Tab. Right, and then that's takes you back here. You can click it a few times to get there. Alright, that's that. So what this is doing is it's setting a constant location, and this is pulling in the module we just installed via npm, the NativeScript geolocation. So now we've got access to this constant called geolocation, and we can use it to query where we are. And then we're doing the same thing for accuracy, and then this HTTP module we're going to be using soon to call the weather API. Alright, so again, don't worry if this is not making sense. It doesn't need to make sense. You just need to make sure you're doing what I'm doing. Very simple. Okay, the next thing it says is replace the data with the following code. Alright, so let's click on the copy button. And so notice it says replace the current data method. Okay, so this is a method where you've got a word, you've got some brackets, and then you've got a curly bracket, and then that you'll see the matching curly bracket here. So the nice thing about this editor is it highlights it. So if I go, let's say I go to this curly bracket, can you see that it's highlighted the other one here? That's the matching or the closing corresponding curly bracket. So if you want to see where this data method ends, just click onto the opening bracket, curly bracket, and then you'll see that it ends there. And then just to give you another example, let's say I want to create a new method. You can type something in like get API, and then it needs an opening and closing normal bracket, and then it needs a opening and closing curly bracket, and then you can put your code in there like that. But let's delete that. Let's delete that and let's do what they're saying. So let's copy and replace. So we want to replace all of it like that. All right, good. So this editor, like in most of the times, it's going to format it properly like this. If it doesn't format it properly, then well, bad luck to you. But you can just use basic backspace, enter commands to try and make it look good and like this. Okay, so this is the data. So as you can see, we've got an image, city, wind speed, summary, visibility, humidity, and the current temperature. We're going to now use an API to populate these fields. And once we've done that, the template above can use it. So what you might have seen already is, for example, this label tag, it shows the current temperature, and that's going to be pulling it straight from whatever you put in here. All right. Okay. So now let's go to, so click on complete step on the right. You can click save if you want, but you won't see anything on your phone. It should still look like this. All right. But don't worry, there's only a few more. I think we're on step 5, are we? Yeah, we're on step 5. There's 9 steps altogether, so we're not far away at. Okay, so now we're going to add another method, and that method is going to be called created. So, all right, so come here. We're in the script tag, and then we're going to go just after the data tag, where it's closing. Sorry, not tag, the data method. So find the closing curly bracket, add a comma, click or tap enter, and now click on copy on the right. Okay, and so make sure you're following this, to the detail. So we've added a comma, and then we clicked on enter, and now we're here. And now paste what you've copied from the right. Hopefully it formats it. No, it didn't format it good. Let's format this very quickly. Hopefully you're having better luck than me with their formatting. So what you want to do is, wherever you see the semicolon, just hold on. This is very important. Let me try, because I know something's going to go wrong. So let's just try this again. So let's go back to there, click on copy, and then, so we've clicked enter and paste. Right, it worked that time. Alright, so my advice is, if it doesn't format properly, just delete what you've done or use Command Z, Control Z, and then try again. And hopefully it works. If it doesn't, then bad luck. But I'll help you. If you leave a comment, I can help you after this video if you need. So hopefully the majority, if not all, have something like that. Let's click on complete step. And now before we move on to the next step, click on save, and let's see what we see now on the app. We should have something else. Cool, so you should see Monday afternoon. So that's pulled in today's date. So if I just show you the code where you've got created, right. So this is the data method, and that's where all the data is that the template can use. So remember what I showed you before. Let's find the day. So here in the template you've got a label, and then the text is day and time. These are the fields that it's looking for in the data method, right? So here in the template we've referenced day and time. And then here in the script, we've got the data method here, which returns these things. So where's day? Oh yeah. So day, and then in the created method, we're saying this.day equals day name. And then all of this code before that, within the created method, is basically finding out the what day it is today, and whether it's the afternoon or morning. Okay, let's see what happens next. All right, so the next thing to do is we want to go, and so we want the weather API, and to do that we need to just quickly sign up with Open Weather Map. So click on this link here, should open a new tab, and let me sign out and let me go back just so that you can follow along. I'll create a new account. Right, so pick any username. I'll pick 1 month app, info@app.com. Pick a password, make sure it's a hard password. You don't want anyone guessing it. Okay, and then yeah, no, yeah, you are not a robot. I'm hoping this is a breeze, and I don't need to explain how to fill out a contact form. But once you're there, click on create account, and we don't want to tell them that. What we do want is the API key. So to use an API, we need a key. So click here, API keys, and now you should see your key here. And just double click. It should highlight it, and then use Command C, Control C, copy it, and then go back. Oh wait, we don't need to copy it now, but let me just tell you that when you use an API, from another service such as Open Weather Map, they're in 99% of cases they're going to ask you to create an account and to use the key, because they don't just want anyone using an account, using an API without a key, because that could, someone could just start using it a million times and consume all of their resources and basically hack them and cause some DNS problems. So you're going to have to mostly create an API, create an account to get the API key, and in some cases it costs. Well, in most cases, it's you get a certain amount for free, like let's say 10,000 uses in a month, and then after that you have to pay. Okay, so if we go back to NativeScript, we want to go. All right, so what this is saying is find the closing. So find where the created method closes. Let me just give you a few seconds to see if you can figure that out. So find where the method closes and add a comma after it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that's here. And then click on enter. And now we want to copy this block on the right. I told you it's just copy and paste. And then paste here. And you see that? It didn't format it properly, so I'm going to press Command Z. Oh, that's really messed up. Okay, so hopefully it worked for you. If it didn't, then go back to this. Just copy again and try again. No, it's still being annoying. Right, let me try this again. So Command Z, let me try it with starting from the beginning. Nope. Alright, I know what to do. I'm going to try one last time. And one more time. One sec. Yeah. So I don't know what I did differently, but it worked that time. So I mean, if it doesn't format, and especially with this block of code, it's going to be hard to format this manually properly. Try a few times. If it still doesn't work, don't worry. The main thing is that after the closing tag of the created method, which is here, so after this curly bracket, you've got a comma, and then after this comma, you've got, it doesn't matter how many spaces you've got, but as long as you've got the methods here, like after the comma, whether it's on the same line or a new line, doesn't matter, that's fine. And then you need to find the methods closing script tag, and that should be down there at the bottom. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, hopefully it's all good. Let's move on. And right, we want to copy our API key now. So over here in the code, you'll see your app ID goes here. So let me just tell you where that is from the top. So you've got your created method, which is under the data method. So you've got the data method, you've got the created method, and then you've got methods And within methods, you've got a getMyWeather method. And then within that, so over here you can see we're using the geolocation constant we created up here. Where is it? Yeah. So we created a geolocation which was pulling in the plugin that we installed from npm. And then what we're doing here is we're saying enable location request. So that's basically going to ask your phone to can I have permission to check your location? And then you're doing a geolocation get current location, and you're setting what type of accuracy you want and the timeout, which basically means after 20 seconds, or this is 20,000 milliseconds. So after 20 seconds, stop trying if you haven't succeeded. Anyways, we want to paste our API key here. So go back to Open Weather API, double click the key here, copy it, and come back here, and then delete and paste. Alright. So hopefully, you're going to have a different API key. That's fine. The main thing is that you've got it looks similar to this, where you've got a var, app ID equals, you've got a speech mark, and then you've got your API key within the speech marks, and there's no spaces at the beginning or the end, and you've got a semicolon after the closing speech mark. That's the main thing. Right. After that, we want to come here and click copy, where it says this.getMyWeather. And then, so this is saying add the line of code below as the first line of your created method. I'll give you a few seconds. 5 to see if you know how to do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah, so that's here. So this is a created method. Find where it starts, and obviously it says add the line of code below as the first line of the created method. So you want that right at the top here, just above current date. So paste that like that. And you can format it if you want by just deleting one space if you need to. Okay, that's step 6 done. Hopefully everyone's still following along. If you are, leave a comment below just so that it will make me happy. And then click on complete step on the right. Okay, step 7. So we've done a lot of copying and pasting. We've created an API key by registering with a service, and now we're going to do some downloading. So come here, scroll to the midway, and then it says download all the images here, but don't click here. Click on here's a zip file with everything in it. So if you click that, it should start the download. Right, and then once it's downloaded, you can open it. It'll be in your downloads folder if you're on Mac, and I don't know where it's going to be if you're on Windows, but we'll come back to that another day. Okay, so hopefully after you've unzipped it from your downloads folder, you'll see a folder like this, and then let's see what else it says. So what this is saying, so open the app folder, and then you'll see 2 folders called fonts and images. Okay, fonts and images. So we want to put these, where do we want to put it? We missed part A. So we need to create 2 folders. Click the app. Alright, so click on app on the Explorer here on the right. And then click plus. And then click on upload folder. Right? No. I mean, you can do it this way, but just so that I don't lose anyone, we'll go the simple route. So click on app, click on plus, click on add folder, and we'll call that images. Okay, and then just click on app again, add folder, and this time it's fonts. Cool. So you should have images and fonts as 2 different folders, and they should be inline or just underneath NativeScript geolocation. It should look exactly like that. If it doesn't look exactly like that, then you've done something wrong and you need to correct it. Yeah, just leave a comment if you need help. So once we've got those, we want to click on images and then click the 3 dots here just on the right like this, upload resources. Okay, and now open your file explorer or finder, find the images folder and select all 4 images. So you can do it one by one or all together. Basically you're uploading the 4 images. Okay, and then just wait a few moments. Is this doing something? No. Let me try again. So you click on images, like the image folder on the left, and then you click the 3 dots here, click on upload resources, and then go back here and drag it. I think you need to do it quickly. Yeah, cool. Upload. Alright. Fine. So let's close this images folder and now click on fonts. We want to do something similar here. Through this button here, the 3 dots, upload resources, open the file explorer or finder and find fonts, that folder. You want to select both and then drag it on top and wait. Okay, click on upload. Cool. Right, so you should have an images folder with 4 images and a fonts folder with 2 fonts, and then just click on save over here at the top. And let's just see what's happening on our phone now. Where is my phone? Here it is. So nothing much just yet, but there's still 2 more steps to go. Oh wait, so did you see that basically it took some time to find your current location and then it pulled it in, and it's got the current temperature, the humidity, wind, visibility. So that's good. It doesn't look great at all, but we're coming on to that now. So let's go. Click on complete step. And alright, so we're on step 8. I think there's 5 minutes left, but we'll continue until we get this done. Shouldn't take too much time now. Right, so if you go to the Explorer side, the Explorer on the left, click on, so in the components folder, click on hello world.vue. That's where we've been coding. And what we want to do is go to the script tag. Okay. And then within here, we want to find where all of the methods, we want to find this one here, methods. Okay. And now copy this block, the set image block, copy that, and you want to paste it just underneath or on top of get my weather, so like this. Alright, so just within the methods object. Okay, so you should have an empty line like that, and then paste it in here. Oh, got the formatting issue again. Let's do Control Z, Control V. Oh, that worked actually. I think sometimes it takes a bit of time, but I'm persistent. I'm gonna get this to work. Oh, let's delete it. No. Oh, I had it there. Let me try again. Hopefully it's working for you guys. Oh, it happened just there. Oh, cool. I got it. Okay, so you should have now the set image method, and you should have the opening curly bracket and a closing one with a comma, and then you should have your get my weather method. It needs to look exactly like that. Well, it doesn't matter too much if the formatting has gone wrong, as long as the beginning and the end are correct. So as long as you've got a comma after the closing bracket and then you've got get my weather, that's fine. But you should have that because what we copied on the right came with a comma, so that's fine. And now let's go down. And then so this says find the line of code that sets this.icon in your pass response method. So that should be somewhere down here. Yeah, so keep scrolling down until you find the pass response method. All right, and then find this.icon. So here we're basically setting what the icon should be called. But so what we want to do is we want to copy this line from the right, and we want to add it after this.icon. So after we've got the icon, we want to set the image. Okay. Press save. And now let's see what's happening on your phone. So you'll see details and then Monday afternoon, and then just wait a few seconds. As long as you've allowed permission, you should see something like that. It still looks a bit messed up, but in the next step we're gonna tidy it up. Right, I've got a question from PT. I'm stuck on step 5. Where's that? We're on step 8. All right, let me jump to step 5 very quickly. See if I can help you or not. Sorry, PT, if you just tell me a bit more about what you're stuck with, I'll be able to help you. I might leave a comment after to help you out with that. But basically, don't worry if it's not formatting right, as long as the beginning and the end are correct, that's okay. All right, cool. Right, let's go back to step 8 and scroll to the bottom. So right now you should have an app that looks like this or something similar. And for the last step, we are going to tidy that up. All right, so we've got some styles. So what you've seen today is a template, which is basically all of the items that are displayed on the app's page. And then you've got the script tag, which does all of the data crunching, finding your location, and then giving your location to this API, which then returns the current weather, and it sets the images. It does all of the hardcore stuff. And then when you get to the bottom, you'll see another one called style. That's where all the styling's done. So let's copy this block on the right. Let's delete all of this style here and then paste. Click on save. Dun, dun, dun. And right, wait a few moments while your phone finds your location. And that looks pretty cool. I think that's cool. And that's on your phone. And that's what you've made. But let's just fix this because it's not centered. And I really want it to be centered. So if you come here, where is it? Right, so we've got the page here. And then this corresponds to the page tag at the top. Let me just show you that. So you've got the page tag here. So basically you can apply styles to every tag. Subba, I've seen your comment. As soon as we're done, I'll start trying to help you guys. So just bear with me. Right, so we've got all of these tags in the template, and you can basically apply styles to each one. So let's go to the bottom. Oops. Right, so the first style we have within the style tag is called page, and we've got a margin 30 there. So if you just click onto the closing semicolon, click on enter, and now let's give it a width. So we want to center. We want everything to be centered because it's a bit to the left, which is bugging me. So if we give it a width of 100%, let's see if that works. And then click on save, and then let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Wait a few moments while you get your geolocation. And great, that's looking better. So one more thing that I don't like here is how we've got Monday afternoon just at the bottom. So let's just try and put that near the top. Okay, so let's go to the template because that's where the text is. And you'll see this label. So you've got a label here which says day and a label here called time. And then if you look on the app, you can see that. So Monday is the day, afternoon is the time. So what we want to do is delete this bottom label. Let's just put it all in one line. So now you've got just day. But if you come in here within the speech marks, put a space in and the plus symbol. And, oh no, instead of doing that, no, let's do that. So click day and then press, do a plus. So just try and follow along and type exactly what I'm typing. So now I did a plus, space, single quote. And then within this single quote, let's put a hyphen. And then go here, put a space, and then another plus. And now put time here. All right, so it needs to look exactly like that. So we've got the word day, a space, plus, a space, single quote, hyphen, single quote, space, plus, space, time. Hope that's clear. And then click on save, and let's see what we've got now. Right, so I think once that's loaded, you'll see that it looks a bit better. No, let's just move this up a little bit. So what I want you to do is I want you to copy this label tag, right? So copy it. So now it's in your clipboard, or right click, or use shortcuts if you want to. So make sure it's in your clipboard, and then I want you to delete this whole stack layout. Just delete it. Okay, and now come up here where it says the city name. Well, let's see, where do we want to put the day? I think we should have the town, the time, so the day and time, and then it should say clouds. So let's put it in between the city and the summary, right? So you've got a label element here, a label tag which is the city, and you've got a label tag here which is the weather summary. So if we come here and put it in between, so paste that here like that. I hope I haven't lost anyone. And then click save, and I think that's going to be it for today, but let's wait to see if it looks better. Right, yeah, I think that looks a lot better. Right? Cool. So when so every time you press save, or whenever you open this app now, it's gonna have that weird feeling of, you know, it looks broken. Let me just demonstrate that. So let me close this. Click on preview. Right, so you see how right now the UI looks broken while it's loading the geolocation. What we're going to do in the next few days is we're going to add a loading spinner, so that while your phone is fetching your location and fetching the weather from the API, the user sees a loading screen instead of just some broken random bits of information. So that's what we'll be doing over the next few days. And really we're going to be polishing this app so it's slick, and again it's going to be a lot more copy and paste and following along, but that's just how it is when you're starting off. The more you do this, the more you're going to learn, and hopefully you can follow along till the end of day 5, and you'll know the basics of how to create an app. So thank you everyone who's made it to this stage where you've got the weather app on your phone. I'm now gonna take any questions and try and help anyone who's stuck. So feel free to drop off now if you've got this far, and we'll be back same time tomorrow. Right, so let's go to so PT, you said you were stuck on step 5. Can you confirm you're still stuck on step 5, and I'll help you? And then Subba, your X and your code is not saving. It's been loading for a few minutes. Right. So what I can suggest is, so let's see, step 6. Right. So if you want to just refresh the page over here, don't worry, you won't lose your code as long as you've got this same URL. Right, so yeah, I think that's because what it sounds like is the NativeScript platform has stopped working, so I would recommend refreshing the page. You won't lose anything, don't worry about that, and then click save again. Right, so yeah, any more questions? Or PT, are you still stuck? Also, let me know if you guys enjoyed it. And if there's anything else you'd want from me, just let me know. All right, I don't think any questions are coming in. I'm going to give you another 1 minute to answer it and to ask any question. All right. Well, thanks everyone. I'm going to be back on tomorrow, same time, and we're going to continue. Thanks again. Bye bye.